Chapter 29. Peter's face was begging for a beating. I knew the Nazis were surging through the wings. I knew Beckett had finally scrambled out of his hidey hole in the trailer to help Valdez, and now they were both being grabbed by white supremacist militia twats with tiki torches. I knew that law enforcement and an alphabet soup of government agencies were pushing into the chaos of the rally, attempting to shut it down before more lives were lost. I knew Lake Stevenson Park was turning into a nightmare zone, explosions rocking the earth as fire spread, seeking out every combustible material these nationalist fucks brought with them. And there was a lot. Brawls turned to riots. Those with an iota of sense tried to run. Most chose to stay in the fray, taking shotgun beanbags to the chest and chemical sprays to the face. I knew all of this was happening. And I didn't fucking care. None of it mattered. None of these people mattered. I felt nothing but blind hatred raging through my veins, setting every nerve on fire. I stomped across the stage, swatting assholes aside like they were gnats buzzing around the pile of shit that was Peter. He saw me coming, and his confident, manic, amused expression flashed to fear. Pure, unadulterated fear. That's right, motherfucker. I'm coming for you. Peter brought the gun up and started squeezing off shots. I didn't flinch because they didn't bother me. Like the riots, spilling into the streets beyond, I knew it was there, but it didn't matter. The first shot went wide. The second went into the stage floor in front of me, splintering the wood. The third shot went into my shoulder. I was aware of a distant sting, but what did it matter? Josephine was dead. Gertie was long dead, and who even knew about Valdez and Beckett? The only thing that remotely mattered was beating the shit out of Peter, the architect of all this insanity. I kept stomping forward. The fear in his eyes turned to panic. Malachi pushed his dear leader aside and threw his fists up, more than happy to stand in my way. Peter scrambled away behind him. Malachi sneered. I told you this wasn't going to end. Fuck off, asshole. With rage guiding my reflexes, I slapped his fists aside while simultaneously driving my fist into his jaw. The crack of bone was satisfying, although I had no idea if it was Malachi's face or my fist. The result remained the same, and my brother went sprawling. The hit was fast, clean, and caught him by surprise. Somewhere, deep beneath the anger, I knew I had gotten lucky. A dozen feet away, Peter stole a glance over his shoulder and saw me continuing to stomp after him. Malachi! Peter screamed at his fallen lieutenant. More Nazi fucks tried to intercept. I think one of them might have been the top-hatted twat from earlier. I took hits and kicks. When someone struck my shoulder in the gunshot wound, I felt that the most. But otherwise, I flung them all aside like rag dolls, my eyes lasered on Peter. Scampering Peter, tiny Peter, pathetic Peter. Ice caps could have melted. The moon could have fallen to the earth. Oxygen could have vanished from the air, and none of it would have mattered. Not as long as I got to Peter. When I looked down, I saw fistfuls of that fucking green coat in my hands. A body squirmed and struggled underneath my vice-like grip. When I looked up, I witnessed that strange transformation I had noticed earlier, but this time I could see it close up. The fear and panic drained from Peter's face. His expression relaxed until it was almost neutral. A distant look crossed his face as if he was looking past my scowling mug. And then the corner of his mouth turned up. And then the fucker laughed. It was a small giggle at first, and he tried to take it back, but it escaped his lips and chittered its way into a full-on chuckle. As it built into something more manic, Peter's eyes remained vacant. He couldn't have been more unsettling if he had tried. You really should think about shutting the fuck up, I growled. Hit him already, Peter barked in amusement. You fucking brute! You meathead! You insufferable dim-witted fuck! Is this what you want? Responding to senseless violence with even more violence? Peter bared his teeth in a manic grin. Then hit him already! Do it for the darkies! Do it because you like it! Whatever the reason, it's like the fucking shoot people say. Just do it! I cocked my arm, fist clenched, and found myself hesitating. Beneath the roiling rage, my brain was whispering to me, what the fuck was this guy talking about? Peter's face melted into abject fear, brows burrowing into each other, and tears streaming down his face. Oh, fuck no! He is gonna fucking murder me! And I cannot fucking help you if I'm dead, you cocksucking! You're the last person I'd ever ask for help, I growled. Shut the fuck up! Peter yowled at me. I can't, God fucking damn it! There has to be another way! We have an army! Another lightning-quick change in personality, and Peter's tears stopped, his mouth twisting and stretching into a nightmarish grin. We never wanted an army. We wanted chaos. Another flip, and the wailing Peter returned. Please, this is how you get it. Think of the possibilities. Think of all we have left to do. You are so weak, the grinning, manic Peter responded. Weak? Peter snapped back at himself. You're literally nothing. I have given you everything. What would you even be without me? You owe me. He screamed the words in my face, but he was talking to someone else. Something else. He didn't flip immediately this time, and the anguished Peter, the real Peter, started laughing something sad. They say that, he said, and I got the idea he was finally talking to me. When man plans, God laughs. But where is God when chaos plans? Peter descended into a fit of giggles. I didn't get the joke. I yanked him close and shook him violently. I don't know what your problem is, but I'm sure it's hard to pronounce. His eyes flashed with fear and panic. Abraham! I punched the motherfucker straight in the face. I felt his nose snap and bone fracture, cartilage driving straight into his skull. His head snapped back, and his body immediately went limp. Blood began trickling from his ruined face. Just one person. Just one punch. The rage was boiling so hot that I had no perception of Peter's piano wire. Maybe he was dead, or maybe he needed a few more hits just to be sure. I pulled my fist back, with every intent to send Peter to whatever maker he believed in, when I was suddenly knocked sideways with all the violent velocity of what felt like a goddamn Mack truck.